Hello, second graders, and welcome to EL Lesson 21. Today we are going to be finishing the story Stone Girl, Bone Girl, and we will continue working out of our purple module books. If you do not have this purple book, please use a piece of paper, or you may always write on the computer, like on our Google Classroom. Okay, so today we will listen to how Mary found the fossil, right? A retelling of the beginning, middle, and end of the story, Stone Girl, Bone Girl. So remember, all stories have a beginning, they have a middle, and they have an end. So when we look on page 71, we've already discussed what happened in the beginning. We met our characters, we learned about the setting of Lyme Regis, England, and we hear about what might happen. Important events happened in the middle of the story, like her dad Pepper died and there was no money. And here, they said here there might be a problem. Well, there's definitely some problems. And today we're going to figure out what happens at the end of the story. So we're working on page 71 and 73 today. Okay? 74 we will do next time. All right. So let us continue on with our story. And remember, in small groups, to retell with partners or with Mr. Gregory or Miss Vanessa or Miss Zhang. Tell about what happened. Okay, let's go to our story. As you know, she was at the sea cliffs with her dog, and her dog started barking. Remember that? Let's go back. All right, here is the page where it happened. Remember this? One morning, Mary was so busy daydreaming, she didn't notice that her dog had wandered away. He was scraping furiously, scratching at something in the clay. Mary had no choice. So basically, the dog helped Mary find the sea monster. The news spread quickly all through the town. Mary Anning has found the sea monster. An excited crowd gathered on the beach to watch the excavation. Then Mrs. Philpott arrived in her fine clothes and made a tremendous fuss of Mary. Even the children who had teased her, Stone Girl, Bone Girl, came to watch, but they weren't laughing now. As the evening sun melted into the sea, a strange procession, I lost my spot, made its way back to the town. A small girl covered in mud led the crowd. At the back, 6 strong Korean men carefully carried the bones of a real sea monster. This is a true story. As long as a tree and more than 165 million years old. 165 million years old. Let's write that down on page 71 here. Mary finds a 165 million year old sea monster. So I'm writing that on page 71. And remember, you can pause at any time. Mary finds a 165 million year old sea monster. This is true. Incredible. She's famous. That's why we're reading about her today. The skeleton was laid out on the floor of Pepper's workshop for all the world to see. And there is a picture of it. An ancient creature of the sea, no longer living. But how do we know it once lived? How do we know it once lived? That's right, Mary found the fossil, the bones, the remains. For months afterwards, visitors came to meet the fossil girl of Lyme Regis. Famous scientists came in carriages from London, and even the king came. It was the most important fossil ever found. They said they called the monster Ichthyosaurus, the fish lizard. The museum that bought it paid enough money for Mary and her mother to live happily for the rest of their lives. But the strange thing was, the little speckled dog had gone. As if he had done his work and drifted away. Oh, that's sad. The dog went away. Sometimes Mary imagined she could hear a faint barking from far away in the sea mist. Then Mary would smile and touch the little snake stone around her neck and step back into the warm workshop where the shelves were filled with treasures from the dark and dangerous rocks. All right, and then here it tells about the real person, Mary Anning. So let's read a little bit about her biography. It says that she was born in 1799 and lived all her life in Lyme Regis, England. All 15 months she survived the lightning strike. At 15 months old, she survived the lightning strike, which killed her nurse and 2 other girls. Whoa. The great Ichthyosaurus that she found at the age of 12 was only the first of Mary's many finds, which played an important part in the new science of evolution. Wow. Lyme Regis is a real place, and it continues to attract fossil hunters, and children still chant the old tongue twister around Mary Anning, the fossil girl of Lyme Regis. She sells seashells on the seashore. The shells that she sells are seashells, I'm sure. So if she sells seashells on the seashore, I'm sure that the shells are seashore shells. Practice this tongue twister in your small groups. Okay, and you may pause this video at any time. Try to say this 3 times fast. It's very difficult. It's right down here. So pause the video and practice this with your parents, your brother, your sister, or in small groups. Okay? Now, let's take a look on page 73. Okay, the directions say, listen as your teacher rereads page 19, look carefully at the illustrations, then answer the question below. How did Mary use a habit of character to respond to the challenge of getting the fossil out? Well, let's go back and look. So it happened on this page. Do you remember how she got this huge fossil out? Okay, let's look. She scraped furiously with Pepper's hammer. There was more than a skull, a whole skeleton. But it was far too big for Mary to cope with on her own. Who could help her? Suddenly she remembered Pepper's old friends, the quarrymen. Leaving the little dog to guard the monster, she climbed carefully down to the beach, then ran as fast as she could to the quarry. So who did she get to help her? She got her dad's old friends. So what habit of character? What did she do? Let's see. She went and got her dad's friends. So she was resourceful. I would say resourceful. She was using all the resources available to her. Mary was resourceful by using her dad's friends to help her, period. Okay, I'm on page 73. Mary was resourceful by using her dad's friends to help her. You could come up with another habit of character. Another habit of character is, Mary's curious, she's smart, she's thoughtful, but I chose this word because resourceful means she's using all the resources available to her. Okay, but you can come up with your own habit of character and talk about what a habit of character is in small groups, a habit of character. All right. Thank you so much, friends and family. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and remember all the things to be thankful for. I am thankful for you, and I will see you when we get back from break. All right, bye-bye.